Something unusual is happening in the music industry right now. A K-pop artist is dominating Western charts in ways that have never been done before, breaking records that even the biggest names in the industry couldn't touch. And she's doing it on her own terms. Blackpink member ROSÉ made history with APT, earning 2 prized Grammy nominations and setting records as the highest-charting K-pop female solo artist with her debut album ROSÉ on the Billboard 200. What makes this massive success so surprising is that nobody saw it coming. 3 years prior, her first solo track set records, but then she completely vanished from the solo spotlight for over 3 years. There were no new releases or announcements, nothing that suggested she was building toward this monumental level of success. This transformation isn't just about a viral song or a lucky collaboration. This is a story of calculated timing and dramatic transformation. ROSÉ didn't just meet expectations, she completely shattered them, becoming one of the most successful K-pop solo artists in Western chart history. By the end of this video, you'll understand why ROSÉ's time is now, why it couldn't have happened any earlier, and what this moment reveals about breaking barriers that were never designed to be broken. Because ROSÉ's story isn't just about her, it's about every artist who's been told to wait their turn and what happens when they finally refuse to wait any longer. Born in New Zealand and raised in Melbourne, Australia from age 7, ROSÉ never imagined music would be her career. It was a hobby, something she did at home on her piano, in her church choir, nothing that felt like a real path forward. When her father suggested auditioning for YG Entertainment in Sydney in 2012, she thought he was joking. The idea seemed impossible. She was living so far from Korea that becoming a K-pop star never occurred to her as a realistic possibility. But she auditioned anyway, performed I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz, and ranked first out of 700 contestants. Within 2 months, at just 15 years old, she had dropped out of Canterbury Girls Secondary College, signed with YG, and moved to Seoul. Everything happened so fast, she barely had time to process what was happening. Less than 6 months after joining YG, she was already working with G-Dragon on his track Without You, though her name wasn't publicized until years later when she was announced as a Blackpink member. After 4 years of training at YG, when the company finally decided to debut their new girl group in 2016, ROSÉ was the last member to be revealed. Not first, not even in the middle. Last. June 22, 2016, just weeks before Blackpink's debut on August 8th, fans finally learned ROSÉ would be the 4th member. Jennie had been revealed first, positioned as the obvious ace. Lisa second, the dance prodigy from Thailand. Jisoo third, the Korean visual and eldest member. And then, ROSÉ. This wasn't just marketing strategy. It was a signal. Industry insiders have confirmed what fans suspected. YG was probably betting more on Jennie or Lisa for solo success. ROSÉ's appeal was harder to package. She wasn't the rapper. She wasn't the standout dancer. She was the vocalist in an industry that often prioritizes everything else. Her strength was her voice, and in K-pop's landscape dominated by choreography and visual concepts, that wasn't always enough to guarantee stardom. When Blackpink debuted, ROSÉ was positioned as main vocalist and lead dancer, but her role in the group's identity was less defined than the others. Jennie was the cool girl, Lisa was the dance machine, Jisoo was the actress visual. ROSÉ was the one with the pretty voice, talented and essential, but not the one people predicted would become the biggest solo star. Even after Blackpink's massive success, when solo debuts started happening, ROSÉ wasn't first. Jennie released Solo in November 2018. It took until March 2021 for ROSÉ to get her turn, over 2 years later. And when On the Ground dropped with her single album R, it was successful by most standards, selling 448,089 copies in its first week and setting the record for highest sales by a Korean female soloist at the time. The song made her the first artist to top the Billboard Global 200 as both a soloist and as part of a group, and she became the first Korean female soloist to enter the UK singles chart. But On the Ground peaked at number 70 on the Hot 100, and while it broke records in specific categories, it wasn't the explosive global breakthrough that would define her career. What nobody understood then was that ROSÉ wasn't ready yet. Not because she lacked talent, but because she hadn't figured out who she was as a solo artist separate from Blackpink. After On the Ground, she went silent for 3 years. No solo releases while fans wondered what was happening. And by the way, if you're enjoying this story, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It lets me keep bringing you these in-depth breakdowns every single week. What nobody knew at the time was that behind the scenes, everything was changing. In December 2023, YG Entertainment announced that all Blackpink members had renewed their contracts for group activities. But something crucial was different. The members had decided not to renew their individual contracts with YG for solo work. ROSÉ, along with Jennie, Lisa, and Jisoo, was officially free to pursue her solo career outside the company that had managed her for over a decade. The decision was massive but quiet. No dramatic announcements, no public fallout, just a simple statement that changed everything. ROSÉ could finally control her own music, her own image, her own direction for solo work. But stepping outside YG's solo management meant starting from scratch. She needed new management, new distribution, new everything. In June 2024, 6 months after stepping away from YG's solo management, ROSÉ signed with the Black Label, an associate company of YG Entertainment founded by Teddy, Blackpink's main producer. It was a strategic middle ground. She maintained the creative connection to the team that understood her voice, while gaining independence from YG's corporate structure. 3 months later, in September 2024, she signed with Atlantic Records, home to Bruno Mars, Coldplay, and Ed Sheeran. The Atlantic Records signing was significant not just because of the label's prestige, but because of what it represented. ROSÉ wasn't positioning herself as a K-pop solo artist trying to cross over. She was positioning herself as a global pop artist who happened to be from K-pop. The distinction mattered because it meant she could compete on equal footing with Western artists, rather than being boxed into the K-pop category that often limits mainstream acceptance. In interviews about her debut album, ROSÉ, she revealed what she'd been doing during those 3 silent years. She'd been in and out of studios almost every single day, writing with songwriters and producers she'd met for the first time, trying to figure out what she wanted to say. She admitted falling asleep many nights feeling confused and lost, unsure of what direction to take or what kind of artist she wanted to be. For the first time in her career, nobody was telling her what to do. YG wasn't directing her image. There were no monthly evaluations, no pressure to fit a specific mold, just ROSÉ and a blank canvas. She was writing her own material, exploring her own sound, discovering her own voice separate from Blackpink. The album ROSÉ became a journal of her experiences in her early 20s, relationships, heartbreak, fame, vulnerability she couldn't show as part of a group. The 3-year silence wasn't wasted time or being held back. It was ROSÉ taking control of her narrative for the first time in her career. And when October 2024 arrived, the world was about to find out exactly what she'd been preparing for. Atlantic Records arranged a meeting at Bruno Mars' LA studio. ROSÉ walked in starstruck, immediately trying to get the most out of the meeting because she thought it would be their first and last encounter forever. She was hustling information from him, asking questions, looking for advice, trying to learn everything she could about navigating a solo career. Mars remembers her determination, the way she came prepared with specific things she wanted to understand about the industry. When Bruno Mars requested song pitches for a potential collaboration, ROSÉ sent him 3 tracks: Number 1 Girl, 3 AM, and APT. The first thing Mars texted back was asking what APT meant. She explained it was a Korean drinking game, and he responded saying it was crazy in the best way possible. Mars chose APT. Mars also co-wrote and co-produced the opening track, Number 1 Girl, but it was APT that he knew would be special. He said ROSÉ's voice on the hook had magic to it, and he loved that it came from her culture, not just another pop song about love or whatever. It was authentically her, and that made all the difference. The recording session was nerve-wracking for ROSÉ. She admitted being so nervous that she choked on water right before recording the bridge. Despite her nerves, she watched in awe as Mars picked up the guitar, then the bass, then played drums over the track. She kept thinking he was a genius, that she was witnessing someone who understood music on a completely different level. APT dropped on October 18, 2024, and the reaction was immediate. The song hit 100 million Spotify streams in just 7 days, the fastest for any K-pop female solo artist. It became the first #1 song by a K-pop artist on Billboard's Pop Airplay chart and peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, one of the highest positions ever achieved by a K-pop female solo artist. Critics praised how the song turned everyday Korean language into a global phenomenon, emphasizing how it reflected Korean artists' growing global influence. What made it work wasn't just Mars's star power. It was ROSÉ revealing a more approachable and upbeat side that fans had never seen before. Within Blackpink, she'd always been cast as the sweet singer-songwriter type, but APT flipped the script with punchy pop-punk energy that channeled rebellious spirit. When the Grammy nominations came through in November, the significance went beyond just the recognition. Record of the Year and Song of the Year aren't categories that get handed out for being popular or going viral. They recognize artistic merit, cultural impact, songwriting craft. The Recording Academy was acknowledging that ROSÉ had created something that mattered to people who didn't know Blackpink, who didn't follow K-pop, who just heard music and connected with it. BTS paved the way with HYBE's resources behind them. Blackpink dominated with YG's infrastructure. But ROSÉ? She stepped outside YG's solo management system and proved you don't need traditional K-pop infrastructure for solo success. She signed with an independent label and Atlantic Records, competed directly with Western artists on Western terms, and achieved unprecedented success. No massive company machine, no traditional K-pop promotional cycle, just authentic music and the belief that it would be enough. What nobody expected was how quickly the industry would have to adjust their understanding of what a K-pop artist could be. ROSÉ wasn't asking for a seat at the table. She was already sitting there, earning Grammy nominations in major categories, achieving some of the highest chart positions for a K-pop female solo artist in history. She wasn't trying to break into Western markets. She was already operating in them as an equal. The last member revealed in Blackpink, the third to debut solo, the one YG was probably betting less on compared to Jennie or Lisa. And now, she's the one showing every K-pop artist who comes after her that there's another way to do this. You don't need permission from your company. You don't need to follow the traditional playbook. You don't need to compromise your identity to succeed globally. You just need to believe in your voice enough to let the world hear it exactly as it is. She just existed as herself, unapologetically Korean, unapologetically vulnerable, unapologetically different from what people expected a K-pop idol to be. She proved that being underestimated isn't a weakness. It's freedom. When nobody's watching, when nobody's betting on you, When you're the last one chosen, you have nothing to lose. And that's when you're most dangerous. Here's what Rosé's story is really about. It's about every person who's been told to wait their turn, every talent that's been overlooked, every voice that's been told they're not ready, not enough, not quite what we're looking for. It's about understanding that your moment doesn't arrive when others decide you deserve it. Your moment arrives when you decide to stop waiting and create it yourself. Rosé spent her entire career being told to be patient. Patient while training for 4 years. Patient while being revealed last. Patient through 3 years of silence. And then she stopped being patient. She took control of her solo career, made bold choices, and refused to let anyone else define what she was capable of achieving. That's the lesson. That's what matters. Not the awards or the records, but the courage it took to take control of her narrative. The strength it took to sit in studios feeling lost and keep writing anyway. The belief it took to release music that was authentically hers and trust that it would be enough. Your time is coming. Maybe not today, maybe not this year. Maybe you're in your own period of silence right now, wondering if you made the right choice, if you're good enough, if anyone will care when you finally show the world what you've been working on. But Rosé's story proves that silence isn't failure, it's preparation. Being overlooked isn't rejection, it's opportunity. And waiting for your moment doesn't mean you're falling behind. It means you're getting ready. The proof that your moment doesn't come when others believe in you. It comes when you believe in yourself enough to make it happen. Her time is now, and yours is coming. You just have to be brave enough to seize it when it arrives. If Rosé's story resonates with you, if you've ever felt like you were waiting for your moment or doubted whether it would ever come, let me know in the comments. What part of her journey speaks to you the most? The 3 years of silence? The decision to take control of her solo career? Or the courage to release music that was authentically hers? And if you want more stories like this, where we go beyond the headlines and understand what it really takes to break through, hit that subscribe button. Because there are so many artists rewriting the rules right now, and their stories deserve to be told. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.